Entry-level hiring at the top 15 U.S. tech firms has collapsed by more than 50% since 2023. In the exact same window, AI adoption inside those firms tripled. This isn't a coincidence. It's the first generation in modern history whose career ladder got demolished before they could put a foot on it. And the data is brutal. Let's start with the lockout itself. Youth unemployment, ages 15 to 24, across every advanced economy. Watch what happens after 2022, the year ChatGPT shipped. The UK jumps, Canada jumps, Sweden, France, Germany, all climbing, while their adult unemployment rates stay flat or fall. In the US, youth unemployment is now running roughly double the national rate. In France, it's pushing 18%. In Italy and Spain, north of 20%. Older workers are fine. Mid-career workers are fine. Corporate profits are at record highs. So who exactly is bleeding? The people who were supposed to be hired into the jobs AI now does in 4 seconds. Junior analyst work, first draft copy, basic coding, summarizing documents, entry-level research. That's not a soft skills problem. That's a structural problem. The bottom rung got sawed off, and Gen Z is the generation standing under it. Now the obvious counter-argument? They're just lazy. They don't want to work. I hear it constantly. So let's destroy it with the one number that actually measures it. NEET. Young people. Not in education, employment, or training. This is the gave up metric. If Gen Z were lazy, NEET should be exploding. It isn't. In Germany, Japan, Korea, France, NEET rates are flat or falling versus a decade ago. Korea's youth are some of the most credentialed humans on the planet. Germany's apprenticeship pipeline is still humming. These kids are in school. They're getting degrees. They're stacking certifications. They are doing literally everything the previous generation told them to do. The lockout isn't on the supply side of labor. It's on the demand side. Companies stopped buying what these kids are selling, yet because an API now sells it cheaper. Here's where it gets ugly. If young people can't find work, you'd expect the economy to be tanking, right? Wrong. GDP growth across the G7 has bounced back hard since 2020. The US posted 2.5% plus real growth in 2023. Corporate profit margins are at multi-decade highs. Productivity per worker is up. The economy is winning. The workers aren't. This is the decoupling I want you to burn into your brain. Output is rising. Profits are rising. But the entry door to the knowledge economy is closing. For 70 years, GDP growth meant more jobs. That linkage is breaking in real time. The growth is being captured by capital and by AI infrastructure, not by the humans who used to do the work AI now does. Why is this hitting Gen Z specifically? Look at where the jobs live. Services as a share of GDP, that's the white-collar economy. Banking, law, consulting, media, software, marketing, admin. In the US, it's nearly 78% of GDP. UK, 72%. France, 70%. These are the exact sectors where generative AI lands hardest. Manufacturing economies like Germany and Korea are slightly insulated. They still build physical things. But the more services-heavy your country, the more your young people are exposed. The career ladder, Gen Z, was promised. Intern, analyst, associate, manager. That ladder was built entirely inside the services economy. And the bottom 3 rungs of that ladder are exactly what large language models do for $20 a month. Here's the part that actually scares me. When young people can't get hired long enough, they stop trying. They exit the labor force entirely. Look at youth labor force participation. The US is down nearly 10 points since 2000. The UK is down. Korea is down. These aren't kids on the couch. These are kids stacking master's degrees because the job market has nothing for them. Every year a 22-year-old spends locked out of entry-level work is a year of lost wage growth, lost skills, lost network. Economists have a name for this: scarring. The 2008 cohort still earns less than the cohorts before and after them, 15 years later. The AI cohort is going to be worse. Because in 2008, the jobs came back. This time, the jobs aren't coming back. They've been automated. So here's the verdict. Gen Z isn't lazy. They aren't entitled. They aren't soft. They are the first cohort in modern economic history whose entry-level career ladder was demolished by a technology shock before they could climb it. The data is unambiguous. Youth unemployment is up, NEET rates prove they're trying, GDP is up, services dominate the economy, and labor force participation is bleeding. The growth is real, the lockout is real, and they are happening at the same time. If we don't rebuild the bottom rung through apprenticeships, AI-augmented junior roles, public hiring, something, we are going to scar an entire generation and call it their fault. We've done it before. We're doing it again. Faster this time. If you want more videos that argue with charts instead of vibes, subscribe. No takes, no panels, no nonsense. Just the data, the decoupling, and what it actually means. New chart-driven breakdown every week.